Snohomish County real estate statistics today, how it relates to the market, what's been going on in the market. Second, we're going to talk about foreclosures, foreclosure inventory, and then right after that we're going to talk about any one of your listings and how they need to be priced and what we can do to get them sold. So I'm going to basically just blast through this stuff as quick as humanly possible. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. We're going to start basically with the overview.
Sorry, Todd.
No, not a problem. Okay, so basically, what's been going on in our market? Red bars are your for sale, blue is your under contract, and green is your sold. This is a 2-year look at it.
One more time, the color choices.
Red is your for sale.
Okay.
Blue is your under contract, and green is your sold. And what's the trend that we're basically seeing?
Less inventory, less sales.
This is strictly price.
Oh, I got you.
Going down.
We're going down, absolutely correct. So right now in the last 2 years, our for sale properties have gone down 17.8%. Okay?
Whoa.
Our market peaked in June of 07. Since then we have come down over 30%. And this is just a 2-year look. We can look at more. What's also very interesting is how come the for sale inventory has dropped more than the sold inventory? What is that basically telling us?
Wait a second, in your relationship it's dropped about the same.
Actually, for sale is down 24% and sold is down 17.8%. So if the product that's on the market in Snohomish County has depreciated more than the product has sold, what is that telling you?
Well, I don't know if it's as much a reflection of what's happening today as much as it is a reflection of what happened 2 years ago. That 2 years ago sellers were still in total denial that we were retreating, and so they were still seeing, oh well, if I just wait, I'm not in a hurry. The market will come to me because I have the coolest house on the market. I have golden nails, and you haven't seen them yet.
Does that mean we're reluctant to sell our homes then?
It means we may not be realistic in relation to our prices. What you can see is the differential between the for sale and the sold,
right.
How it started to get smaller over time. So
Yeah.
sellers have started to become more realistic. The second thing that you see too is you see that these sellers, if they would have priced their home correctly, would have netted more money quicker.
Right.
The third thing you see is because they didn't, they actually ended up losing approximately 6% more by waiting. Okay.
They don't realize that now is the new normal.
Are you saying we only lost 6% in
No.
average sales price?
No, I'm saying
Okay.
that if this seller took 2 years to sell,
I got you.
he lost 6% in addition to the depreciation of the market just by being behind the market. And basically what it is,
How do you come up with that figure?
and
Where does that come from?
when we're talking about this, you can see it's that simple chasing the market down thing.
Right.
Okay, so the for sales are chasing the solds. So we've got our market. Our market is basically going down like this. And the seller says, hey, based on the comps and the data, I want to price my home here, slightly above the market. Okay, we all know that comps are a picture of the past. They may be 30, 60, 90 days old. They price their home here, and then a little more time, so this is time. A little more time goes by, and all of a sudden the market's down here. And they say, oh, well, I guess I need to reduce my price. Okay? And then a little more time goes by, and they say, I guess I need to reduce my price. And the moral of the story is it's clearly evident that over the last 2 years, sellers have been chasing the market down. Okay? We need to, as real estate agents, educate our sellers on why pricing is the most important thing that they need to do. This, in today's market, is more important than everything else. Because if they're not priced well, the market will leave them and cost them more money in addition to the depreciation. Let's just go quickly into our 1-year stats. Okay, so for February 2011, right here we've got and this top one you're looking at overall Snohomish County, Number of units, down 13%. When you compare February of 2011 to February of 2010, year to date we're down 4%. What's interesting about that? What was happening last February?
Tax credit?
First time home buyer tax credit. So was that a normal market?
No, it's it's not a normal.
No, it's not. Okay.
Subsidized.
Subsidized. The market was artificially inflated, so it's not surprising that the number of total sales would be down relative to that. Because what were we doing when we subsidized the market?
Basically grabbing buyers from the future.
We were borrowing buyers from the future and putting them into homes today. Okay, moving on to average price. So for Snohomish County, basically the average price when you compare February of 2010 to February of 2011, down 11.6%, year to date down 10.6%. Median price when February of 2011, February of 2010, down 13.6% and down 10.7%. Why is that? If you guys were in the last stats class, why is that majorly significant right now? What is significant about those depreciation numbers? Overall, Snohomish County in 2010 depreciated 8.6%. So if Snohomish County depreciated 8.6%, which would be around 0.5% to 0.75% a month, and it showed the same thing in January, by the way. But in February, we're down on our average price 11.6 and 10.8 year to date. What is that telling us?
It's depreciating faster now.
We are picking up velocity in a downward direction. We have started depreciating faster in February than we have in the last 13 months. Okay, now what does that mean? Coming back to our example of our seller over here. So you're going to talk to your seller, and they're talking about their home that's on the market. And what do you need to tell them today that was not happening 2 weeks, 30 days ago?
We're going to price it less and less.
We have to price it more aggressive now because the market is picking up velocity in a downward direction, and you're going to lose more money faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Why is it doing that? I mean, we just got news of Boeing. Why is it starting to pick up? People tell me that's going to be better now.
That's an absolutely great question. Okay, Boeing tanker, what is that going to do for us?
Provide jobs.
Jobs.
New jobs.
Okay.
The jobs are already there. They're just reintegrating the people to a different department.
No,
Not really hiring.
there's supposedly, if it's factual, 11,000 new jobs.
Yeah. So it's going to create jobs, and then, but more important than jobs, what does it create for the local market?
A stimulus.
Optimism.
Confidence.
Consumer confidence, absolutely. What's the third thing it's going to do? So it's going to be a chain of events. It's going to create optimism, consumer confidence. It's going to create jobs, and then what's the next thing that's going to happen?
People are happy and they're buying more property.
People will theoretically have more money. There's going to be a little bit more in the economy. Theoretically, it should slow down the rate of foreclosures. Okay, people have more money, they can make their house payment. Less foreclosures equals less inventory on the market, which equals stabilization in prices. And that's why I think it leads to price stabilization, and it will be one of many factors. Do I think it's going to stop this? No. Do I think it's going to help this out? Absolutely. And all we need is a few factors like that, and if also it helps the overall unemployment rate, which right now in Snohomish County is almost 10%, to go down, these depreciation numbers will slow down. And once they slow down and we start to get the market to stabilize, then they will stop. But it is one of the first steps in the right direction. That does not necessarily mean it's going to happen tomorrow. I feel more realistically, you're still looking at a 12 to 18 month time frame. Okay, it's just a factor that will help to start buoying up the market. And if consumer confidence rises, that will help it buoy up the market faster than anything else. Okay, just to blast through the rest of the cities in relation to what's going on, because I also want to talk about the foreclosure stats. Lake Stevens.
Wow, look at that.
Lake Stevens took a beating. Lake Stevens, their number of closed units was down 49.3%. That's almost a 50% change. The year-to-date closed units is down 37.3%. So, once again, going back to your seller. Okay, you're in Lake Stevens. What are you going to say to them? Okay, You have half the amount of sales going on right now as you did last year. You need to be priced correctly. Your house needs to look beautiful. You need to shampoo your carpets. You know, whatever it's going to take to get that home sold.
Can I ask-
Okay, average price, we're down 11.1% compare February to February, and down 11.7 year to date. Okay, Linwood. Why is Linwood looking better than everywhere else?
Why?
I don't know the exact reason, it was just kind of a question.
It's where I grew up, it's the epicenter, where life begins and ends.
It's probably because it's closer to Seattle.
It's only the unit count that's up.
Correct,
It's
price
not-
is still
it's-
bad.
So all it is, most likely, is you have, and I'm just guessing, that you have people that have decided that A, it's a good time to buy, and you have enough inventory that's gotten to a price where price and affordability for Linwood still works, and there's enough demand because it's not so far outside of the, you know, the commutable distance into major metropolitan.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. What's very interesting, too, is this is most likely in relation to the affordability. Your average price depreciated greater than Snohomish County, and so did its median price, which is probably then getting to the affordability issues, now becoming very affordable for people to live in Linwood and commuting times. Stats for Everett looking pretty much about the same. Your February of 2010 versus February of 2011, you're down 6.9 in average price, year to date down 11.7. Median price is definitely taking a beating, down 17.9% in February. Does everyone know what the difference between median and average is?
Median is just the middle.
Median is the middle. So if the median is depreciating greater than the average, what does that mean?
Amount.
You're
Volume.
having less higher end sales. I mean, that's really all.
Your higher end sales have moved down more.
Right. The unit count in the upper end is slowed, and so it's, yeah.
Okay, moving on to Marysville stats. Basically, your average price here in the city of Marysville down 19% when you compare February of 2010 to February of 2011. Year to date, we're down 12.5 with a median depreciation of 18.4 compared February to February, and year to date down 12%.
That is bad.
Last month, we barely changed percentages at all. Average sales price year over year moved by 0.1. Median moved by 0.1. So is February an anomaly or is it a trend?
We won't know that until March and April happen.
Well, I don't know because I haven't looked. How bad was it in December year over year?
Wasn't it that bad? December mirrored most of what had happened in 2010, which was a 0.5% to a 0.75% depreciation. For some reason in February, we got annihilated.
Why, Anton?
I wish I knew.
Well, we lost about a week for snow, maybe.
Short month.
Short months to begin with, but that's unit count, that's not
But
price.
see, and also, it doesn't matter. It was a short month in 2010.
So can I propose a theory?
Let's rock and roll. I mean, that's what we're here to talk about. It's just what we think.
So is it possible that the banks that have too much inventory dumped inventory to prices after the fiscal year was over, or after the calendar year was over, and put property on the market at more assertive prices, and those sales closed in February, and so that's a different trend than it was, say, a year ago.
Possibly.
I don't know.
That's a
You work
great
more
hypothesis.
with that into the business than we do.
We're going to look at foreclosure stats, and we're going to talk about how that inventory is rising, and most likely the answer to your question is bank-owned properties and short sales based on their total number of volume is dragging down the average price. And so I can't say definitively, but I can say most likely that's one of the reasons. Okay.